Students, good morning. Welcome to our science class of class 8th. As previously, means yesterday, we have studied about chapter number 6, that is combustion and flame. Today we are here with the same chapter, part 2nd, in which we are going to study about the different topics, such as we are going to study about the types of combustion and flame. As yesterday I have told you about the combustion. I have told you that what is combustion, and I have told you that what are the conditions that is required for the combustion to occur. So these things that I have already told you. So today we are going to start with our next topics, that is today we are going to study about the types of combustion. So let's start with the new topic, that is types of combustion. There are three types of combustion: rapid combustion, spontaneous combustion, and explosion. So one by one we will discuss about that what is rapid combustion, what is spontaneous combustion, and what is explosion. So first is rapid combustion. Means this is a type of combustion which occurs at very fast rate. The type of combustion is mainly called rapid combustion. For example, when you bring a matchstick near a stove, it catches the fire very rapidly. So this is one of the example of the rapid combustion. There are so many examples. The combustion that occurs at very fast rate, that is, and in this combustion both heat and light is released, and that this type of combustion is mainly called rapid combustion. There are so many examples of this: burning of LPG, burning of petrol, burning of dry grass, burning of matchstick, burning of magnesium ribbon or wire. These all are the examples of the rapid combustion. So what is rapid combustion? Means the combustion that occurs at very fast rate is known as rapid combustion, and these are the examples of the rapid combustion. So this is about the rapid combustion. Second is spontaneous combustion. Spontaneous combustion is a type of combustion that occurs on its own. It means that we do not supply any external heat to them for their burning. Means this is a type of combustion that occurs on its own, and this type of combustion is known as spontaneous combustion. So we will study more about that, what is spontaneous combustion and what are its examples. Spontaneous combustion. Spontaneous combustion means the combustion that occurs without aid of any external heat, and this type of combustion is mainly called spontaneous. For example, forest fire. Forest fire is one of the example of the spontaneous combustion. What happens during extreme heat of summer? The dry grasses at some place attain their ignition temperature. I have told you that what is the ignition temperature. Ignition temperature means the minimum temperature at which it catches fire. So it attains their ignition temperature and it catches the fire. From the grasses it spreads to the whole forest, and which is very difficult to control. So this is a type of combustion, means there is no any external supply of heat. It occurs by their own. So such type of combustion is a spontaneous combustion. Another example is sodium and white phosphorus. I have told you that there is very low ignition temperature of white phosphorus, and sodium also is a very reactive metal. When it comes in contact with air, it catches the fire. So sodium and white phosphorus means it catches the fire without supplying any external heat to them, and these undergo the slow oxidation. These are the substances that undergo the slow oxidation by the air. During this process the heat is evolved, and that heat accumulates in the substances till its ignition temperature is attained, and at this point it burns spontaneously. So this is the second example of the spontaneous combustion. So these are the certain examples of the spontaneous combustion. So we can define it like this: the combustion in which the substances starts burning suddenly, even without being heating, is known as spontaneous combustion. Next type of combustion is explosion. Now we are going to study about that, what is explosion. So explosion is a type of combustion that takes place, and it is a type of combustion in which the heat and light is evolved along with the production of sound. So this type of combustion reaction that occurs suddenly when the material is heated and liberating very large amount of gas and producing heat, means very large amount of heat and gases are produced during this process. And one of the most characteristic property of this type of combustion is that along with the large production of heat and light, sound is also produced. So bursting of crackers is one of the best example of the explosion. So this is about the explosion. And one of the most characteristic feature of this explosion is that with the evolution of heat, means very large amount of heat, light and gases, sound is also produced. So this is about explosion. Bursting of crackers is one of the example. Firecrackers have the combustible materials along with oxygen liberating chemicals. When the wick is lit, it provides a spark to this mixture and combustion starts. The reaction that produces very large amount of gases and heat. The gases that expand and burst a paper container with a loud noise and flame. The cracker contains a mixture of carbon, sulfur and potassium nitrate. So by this way the bursting of crackers takes place. So this is one of the example of the explosion. Our next topic is about firefighting. So first of all, we know that what is firefighting. Firefighting means this is the attempt that is mainly used to extinguish the fire, and it is used to prevent the fire, unwanted fires in buildings, vehicles, woodlands, and this has to be done with the help of firefighters. Firefighters, their mainly work is to suppress the fire and to protect the lives and properties of the people and the environment. So this is one of the duty of the firefighters, to protect us from the unwanted fires. So firefighting, there are several methods that is used to extinguish the fire. What are the methods that we will use to extinguish the fire are as follows. So one of the method is throwing the sand and soil over the fire. By throwing the sand and soil over the fire, means we throw it in order to cut off the supply of air. We are knowing that there are three conditions that is required for the combustion to take place. If we remove one of the condition from them, we are able to control the fire, means we are able to extinguish the fire. So if we cut off the supply of oxygen, in that case the fire will get extinguished. So here, by cutting off the supply of oxygen, the fire gets extinguished by this way. So this is one of the methods. Throwing the sand and soil over the small fires, we are able to extinguish the fire by cutting off the supply of oxygen. Next is cooking oil. Cooking oil fire can be extinguished by covering the pan with a damp cloth. Damp cloth means wet cloth. So when cooking oil fire can be extinguished mainly with the help of a damp cloth. The working of the damp cloth is that it cuts off the supply of air in the cooking oil and the fire gets extinguished by this way. So this is one of the method that is mainly used to extinguish this kind of fire. Next is water. Water is also very suitable for extinguishing the fire. In many cases we have seen that the water is used to extinguish the fire, but we don't use water in all the conditions. because we are knowing that water is a good conductor of electricity. So we don't use the water to extinguish the fire in that case in which the fire occurs by the light by the electricity. Means if the fire is caused by the electricity, in that case we don't use the water, because water is a very good conductor of electricity. So if we will use the water, in that case we will get the electrical shock. So we will if we want to extinguish the fire, we just use some other methods except water in order to extinguish the fire caused by the electricity. So this is not used in this case. Next is that fire that is caused by the electricity is mainly not extinguished. It is not extinguished with the help of water, but we will use a fire extinguisher in that case in order to extinguish the fire. But we don't use the water because we are knowing well water is a good conductor. If we will do that thing, in that case it will cause we will get the electrical shock. Now we must know that how the water is able to extinguish the fire. Water is able to extinguish the fire because it brings the temperature of the burning material below its ignition temperature. So it works like this way. So it causes the cooling of that material which have catch the fire, and it brings its temperature lower than the ignition temperature, so that the fire gets extinguished. So the water works like this way, but we don't use water in case of fire that is caused by the electricity, because water is a good conductor of electricity, and if we will do that, we will get the electrical shock. So the electrical equipment is on fire, as water is a good conductor of electricity, and it may cause the electrical strokes to the people who are putting out the fire. So we don't use water in this case. Next है cutting off the air or removing of the supply of oxygen. As I have told you, if we remove the supply of oxygen, if you cut off the supply of oxygen, then you are able to extinguish the fire very easily. So fire is extinguished by this way, and we will use the fire extinguisher. In fire extinguisher, a type of gas is filled. That gas is carbon dioxide gas. The carbon dioxide gas is used to extinguish the fire because it because it forms a blanket around that combustible material, and it cuts off its supply with the oxygen, and by this way it is able to extinguish the fire. Now remove the heat. When some object catches fire, we pour the water. Remove the heat means if we pour the water, by doing that we are able to reduce its temperature and temperature of the object below its ignition temperature, so that the fire gets stopped by this way. So this is one of the method that we will use to extinguish the fire. So cut off the air or removing of the supply of oxygen or removing the heat is one of the method that is mainly used to extinguish the fire. Next is fire is controlled by this way also, and this is the third condition. The third condition is the removing of fuel. In some places the fire has caught, we should remove the nearby kept substances. Means the fire is mainly mainly occurs when these combustible materials are found near the surroundings, such as petrol, diesel, LPG and wood. So if we remove that combustible material from the surrounding, if we remove that kind of fuels from the surrounding, in that way also we are able to control the fire. So as we have studied that the three conditions that is necessary for the combustion to occur. First is the fuel or the combustible material, that combustion occurs. Next is oxygen, that is a supporter of combustion, and third is the ignition temperature. So if we out of these three conditions, if we remove one of them, then by that way we are able to control the fire, means that by that way we are able to extinguish the fire. So this is the third condition. The third condition is the removal of fuel. So by removing the fuel such as LPG, diesel, wood, kerosene, we are able to control the fire. So this is about the methods that is used to extinguish the fire. Use of fire extinguisher. In this chapter we are going to study about the different types of fire extinguisher that is used to control the fire. So the use of fire extinguisher is like this. In that fire extinguisher, mainly the carbon dioxide gas is filled, and that carbon dioxide gas is heavier than the oxygen. So when it is spread, it covers that combustible material like a blanket, and it cuts off its oxygen supply, and by this way it can easily extinguish the fire. So this is the working of the fire extinguisher. We are going to study about this the types of fire extinguisher in this chapter later on. So the fire extinguisher works like this way to extinguish the fire. Next topic is about the flame. Now we are going to know about that what is flame. Flame is a zone of combustion. We have seen the flame in the candle. You have seen the flame in a candle. So how you will define it? Is a zone of combustion. It is a zone of combustion. So it is a zone of combustion of a combustible substance. So the substances that gets vaporized during the burning, that produces flame, that mainly produce a flame. For example, kerosene, candle wax, these are the certain materials that vaporize on its burning, so that they produce a flame. And the substances which do not vaporize on its burning, that do not produce a flame. For example, coal, charcoal, these are the example of the certain things that do not produce a flame. So this is about the flame that I have told you. There are some topics still remaining in this chapter that very soon we are going to cover that topics also. So whatever the things that I have taught you today, you just revise all the topics once again, and try to do the exercises that is related to the topics that I have taught you. So students, thank you.